I'll be there. Push me Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. We didn't have a stream last Thursday. Why was that? Because I had a whole bunch of stuff to do, so I didn't want to stream last Thursday. I had to get ready to go to do family stuff. I did a bunch of family stuff this weekend. It wasn't too bad. So right now we're just waiting for my guest, Mr. Tim Reaper. I'm assuming he's tried to jump on his phone and it's just not working properly, because that happens if you don't use the right browser. So before we start, as always, we are in part. Hey, Matt, how's it going, buddy? Davis is in here too. He probably dipped out. He probably just came in to harass my ass and then dipped out. That's all right. I love Davis. All right, let's check this out. So, Trash Talk with Nate Trash, as always, is partnered. This is another thing I'm introducing now, is show partners. So, the first show partner is Cursed Earth Apparel and Print. I work for Cursed Earth Apparel and Print. If you are in a band or if you just want some cool merch, hit me up, cursedearthapparelandprint.com. We got some cool stuff, and we got even cooler stuff on the way. So if you need custom merchandise, let us know. Octave Studios Medicine, these are the sponsors now. Octave Studios Medicine Hat, Intrinsic Productions. Oh, no, there's another partner. Apply Within Audio in Lethbridge. Bam, microphone. Applywithinaudio.com. Full kitted out recording studio. All gear you need for live events as well. Armstrong Metal Fest, Loudest Health Festival, Decimate Fest, Intersect Arts and Music Festival, Camp Misfit Clothing, Mountain Bistro and Pizzeria, Bragg Creek. Awesome. Love it. Some more tunes back there. How about that? Cool with that. So, like I said, we're still waiting for my guest. It's a little bit later over where he's at. It's probably about, 10 o'clock right now. So, I don't know what's going on with him. That's okay. I'm a very flexible individual. If shit doesn't work out, we can always make it work another time. It's not a problem. Oh, here we go. Oh, got the app downloaded. Huh. All right, so yeah, Tortured Saint from Ontario. This is what you're listening to right now, Davis, you fucking guy. Everybody, I had a weird day today. Monday's been a weird day today. I'm going to, you know what, fuck it, let's hit this right here. Pardon me.
Boiled fish. Boiled carrot.
Hey, I'm Nate Trash. Welcome back to another episode of Trash Talk. Trash Talk, baby. Welcome back. Another episode. We're ready to rock. Tim is just getting his stuff figured out here. So the app that I use, Video Ninja, from time to time, if you try to use your Google browser for it, it doesn't want to work. You got to copy and paste the URL into your regular stock browser. So on iPhones it's Safari, and on Samsung it is browser. It's just called Samsung browser. So he's having some trick with that right now. Hopefully he'll get it figured out. We will get it figured out. We got lots of time. So how is everybody feeling on this Monday? I had a really weird day today. I dealt with a lot of family stuff this weekend, and it must have threw me through more of a loop than I thought it did, because I woke up this morning and everything started falling apart on me. So I canceled work and I decided to hide in my house today. I took my kid to daycare and I hid inside my house today. Not very enthusiastic Papa Trash of me, but some of these things happen from time to time. Looks like we got our friend in here. It's just loading up, I guess. Let's check out some more tunes here. So what we're listening to right now is Tortured Saint. They just released a new album. I was checking them out at Loud as Hell, and Tim had to escape the province in a hurry. He hurt his eye, had an injury or something, had to rip back home. So we're going to chat it up a little bit about that. Hopefully he's going to get in here. See what's going on here. Oh no, I'm clicking all these buttons now. Oh my goodness. So Tim says he's rocking it. We're just trying to, so another thing too that I've noticed when people, because I stream these on Twitch exclusively, is a lot of people assume because it's streamed on Twitch that Twitch is like the call app too, and it's not. I use an entirely different app for that. So we got some wicked, deadly, crazy shows coming up this weekend. I'm gonna pop you guys in on that. It's gonna be sick. What we got going on here is some Moments Fest this weekend. Now this one's gonna be a banger. Let's see if I can pull this in here. Do. Let's go like this and like this. Boom. All right, let's make this fit a little bit. So, Moments Fest. We have the almighty Wake. We got the legendary Dayglow Abortions. 784 years old. Hey, there's Tim right there. Look at that. Right on. Rock and roll. All right. Tim, how you doing, buddy? Oh, I can't hear you. It doesn't look like you got any audio coming through. So Tim is in the green room right now. He's just trying to get his audio pinned up here. Sometimes that happens as well. That's all right. We're patient people here. Let's get Tim in here to say hello. There he is. Oh, can't hear you yet. No, still nothing yet, buddy. Try and jump out and jump back in and change your microphone setting to a different mic setting. Try that one. That one might work. Oh, yeah. So, bands for Moments Fest are going to be nuts. It's going to be a wicked good one. And I'm very pumped to see it. Trying your Windows setting, because I'm assuming you can hear me, hey Tim, but I can't hear you. I can't see your audio coming through in the control room either here. I can't hear you at all, but you can hear me. If you got earbuds or that have a microphone on them, like just a Bluetooth or a headset or something, Or go into maybe your Windows settings and see if it's in there. Maybe jump out of the call and try and jump back in and change it in your start up settings in the call. We're all about mitigating difficulties here at Trash Talk. That's what it's all about, you guys. Oh, yeah. I believe that is some good, tasty, tortured saint in the background. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. So how was everybody else's weekend? Mine was, like I said, it was a weekend and a half. Serenity has lots of fun. We didn't get to ride bikes as much as she wanted to, though. She just wants to go riding bikes all the time. Let's make sure we're paying attention to what's going on here. Oh, man. So Moments Fest. Gonna be out there snagging interviews with as many of these bands that are willing to talk to me. I'm hoping to get an interview with... Gotta get a new interview with Balragath. I gotta get an interview with Sionis. I gotta get a new interview with Yumi Yokai. I gotta get an interview with Dayglow Abortions for sure. Citizen Rage, hopefully. I got to... Wake I got already. I already got No More Moments recently at Loud as Hell, so I don't really need to get those guys. Eamon McGrath, I don't know who that is, so maybe I should get an interview with him too, just to spice things up a little bit. Quit It, I want to get an interview with Quit It. Spencer Joe. Spencer Joe rocks. Quit It's a great band. I want to get Pridelands. Definitely want to get an interview with Pridelands. Pridelands are the homies. Silly Bike would be nice to get an interview with, but they're young, and I'm fairly specific about interviewing younger kids. If they're under 18, I prefer to get parents' permission so that I'm not, just so that there's no issues with it. Lee from Sionis came out to the Cradle of Filth show and was at the Cradle of Filth show to see us. He got tickets off me. Great dude for sure. So what does everybody think about this Pantera reunion? What do we think about the Pantera reunion? I want to know some opinions on this here, because personally, I'm not a big fan of cover bands and tribute bands. Maybe that's too much to say, because it is half of the band, half the original band. But what do we think about this, you guys? Life is weird, you guys. Pantera. Is anybody pumped about going to see Pantera? Pumptera? Nice. Good one, Nate. Nate's not dumb. Really? Nobody's got nothing to say about Pantera now. Thought Pantera was one of those bands that everybody knew about. That's alright. That's alright. Horrify's got a show. Oh, here we go. I think it's a great tribute. Having Grady on the board using Dime's gear. Also, Dime was an unofficial member of Anthrax. And if Charlie goes balls deep on the Vinnie stuff, I think he can pull it off. Well, see, the thing about Vinnie Paul is that Vinnie Paul played in boots. Played drums in boots, and I'm pretty sure he used wooden beaters. So, like, he had a very signature fucking thumping sound. It was almost like mallets on a snare. And it was, yeah, so like, no diss to Charlie Benante, but yeah, see, he did some wild shit with his drums and his kicks, and it created a very intense fucking signature sound. And the only other person I can attribute to that kind of signature sound is like Gene Hoglan, you know, playing with that really heavy full foot sound, like not just like the tip of his toes, you know what I mean? I guess Vinny did was a toe tipper, but he still played in boots. And like very select few people can hammer shit out in boots like that. And I'm pretty sure Charlie Benante is like a sport mode kind of guy. He's in like hardcore guy clothes, athletic shorts and jerseys and shit, and he's wearing fucking trainers or tennis shoes or whatever the Americans call them. Vinny was also airtight. Oh. Try again.
Any sound now?
Yeah, there we go.
Gotcha.
There he is.
I have to hook up the interface or the microphone. Can you hear me loud enough?
Yeah, buddy. Good to go. Fucking rights. Oh, okay, let's fix this up a little bit here. All right. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Let's get you back into the scene here and let's kick off this interview. Thank you so much for dealing with the technicals. A lot of people don't know the app that I use, and it's just a browser app. You just got to like click onto it, right? So
Yep.
as I was telling people, a lot of people think that because I stream it on Twitch that they got to like make a Twitch account and everything, and that's not even the case. It's even easier than that.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty computer illiterate too, so just had to go change a few setting things. But no, it wasn't too hard to get on. Just more hard on my end, I guess, of getting to know all this stuff. And I've had this problem. Everybody's kind of got a different format, a different device that they use, right? So all good. We're here now, man.
That's right. That's what it's all about, buddy. Thank you again so much. So for everybody, this is Tim. Tim, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Tim Reaper. I play in the band Tortured Saint. I'm the guitarist, one of them. And originally I'm from Tilbury, Ontario, but I've been residing in London, Ontario for probably the last 12, 13 years. So I used to live in Calgary, lived out there for just before that. So about 12, 13 years ago, I was in Calgary. I lived there for about 3 years. I lived down in, what was it? Canyon Meadows down in the southwest.
Nice. Right on. Right on.
Canyon Meadows and Lake Bonavista. I lived on the other side of McLeod Trail, so I used to be at the back alley quite a bit.
Yeah,
And
buddy.
it was like a cool rock bar, right?
The back alley came back. It's back again.
Oh,
Yeah, the back alley's back again. It came back just as COVID was hitting, and it's still there. And they do shows once in a while, but Calgary's actually being hit really hard right now with losing our live music venues. And it's the evolution, right? This is just the way these things go. It's the ebb and flow of it, right? But
yep.
what that's starting to create is it's starting to create more so like they're gonna skip. People don't want to come play shows here, but when they do come play shows here, like I can say for my band, we have been able to play some fucking insane shows because we're not playing shows all the time because there's not places to play shows all the time. Shows aren't being booked all the time, right? So we put a lot of focused effort into the shows that we do get to play, wherever it may be that we get to play them. Right now we have Border Crossing, which doesn't allow any sort of like physical contact. They're very much an old school biker bar. And
Yeah.
they're very much like, we'll book you guys, but no moshing. Like my buddy's band, they were at Loud as Hell. They're called Rising Sun. They played there just recently on their tour. And they're like, so we did sound check and this guy came up and offered us $300 not to play our set. So that was cool. It's like, well,
Then you take the $300 and you go on stage and say your band's name something different. It's like, well, that band isn't playing. My other band that we just started 2 seconds ago called
yeah, see, right? Like, fuck it. Like,
$300 we're called $300 or less, and
there you go. We're called free beer, right? Free beer on this guy, you know? Fucking get spicy with them. And at that point, I would do something risky like that too, because at that point, I'm already not going to play there again. You know what I mean? The no moshing.
When they give you that vibe, right? It's kind of how do you go back and feel welcomed? I mean, they were very welcoming when we did the Decimate Fest there 3 or 4 years ago, but I get it. Some bars kind of don't want the moshing. They either don't want their furniture trashed or.
And that's not for me to decide. That's not for me to judge either. I'm not going to trash the bar for not wanting their stuff wrecked and for not wanting their patrons to maybe get smashed around when they don't want to be. You know, I'm definitely not going to pass judgment. That's all up to the owner, right?
Yeah, for sure. We're kind of running into the same thing here in London, where just like some other venues have closed up. So it's hard to find those places to play. But I think referring back to what you said, you don't got bands, you don't got maybe a venue who's putting on a show every weekend so that the scene's not getting oversaturated. So when you do go play, maybe it's been 5-6 months, a year, then you're getting everybody to come out and it turns into like a great show. So the pros and cons of it all, right?
Yeah, it makes it hard for a lot of the new out of town bands that want to come down and really want to like dig into the scene, because it's like, well, you guys got to find because I told a couple of bands, like, I'll do my best to reach out to some bars because I wanted to do some live trash talk shows where I interview some of the bands and then they play and then we give away some prizes. I introduce the bands while they're going on, turn it into like a really event style thing, not just another show, right? But the thing is bars are booked. They're booked, and I get nervous about this stuff because I'm not a booker. I don't book. I'm a promoter. And I don't just promote shows, I promote bands. You know, I promote bands and I promote artists. So for me to just like kind of jump over to promoting shows too, promoting shows is very thankless, you know? One thing I've realized is that a lot of bands like that are starting out, they feel like they're owed something by the promoters.
Yeah.
And everybody everybody complains about this and they complain about that. And it's like, some of those complaints are really valid. Like let's say a guy from 150 kilometers away is on a pre-sale thing, like you only get paid if you sell enough pre-sales. Like that's not fair, So if they're saying we want to get our cut, then that's fair, but they're always looking for some reason to call promoters shady. And I just don't want to be a part of that because it's like being a politician, Once you become a politician, you instantly make half of the people hate you.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing with a promoter, As soon as a band decides that you fucked them over, like that's their choice to decide that, and you're not going to be able to fix that. Like, it's a very intense.
You gotta take care of your promoters and be nice to them and take what you can get. And it's I've seen it too with some young bands, and you know what? I'm probably guilty of it too when I played in a band when I was 17, right? Being naive and just I think people go in there with too much expectations of what the grand day is going to look like, and it's never not that. Like it's, and the promoter, he's trying to deal with not having 5 or 6 bands show up, and you got 12 guitar cabinets, 5 drum kits in this tiny bar. So then the promoter's like, hey guys, let's do some gear sharing. And I get that all the time. I totally get that. A lot of people like to use their own gear, but he's trying to manage the day and manage the bar and have this gear, but then he's getting looked at as like, oh, I'm the bad guy because I'm just telling everyone to share gear. So with age, I think I've seen those things and learned to be like, okay, now I see why this is happening.
Yeah.
Or why he's doing it this way, and maybe he's not such a dick,
Exactly.
Like he's just trying to make the day work.
Yeah, you with a little bit more experience comes a little bit more knowledge on how to just work with people in order to get to the end goal instead of trying to make up problems or like pick things apart in order to make every second go perfectly the way you pictured in your head, because in the end, it's all about getting that half hour or 45 minutes on stage, getting that fucking nailed right in there, right? So do the interruptions of like, hey man, I can't use this, or I want to use that, or like, oh, this band wasn't here at this time and this band is showing up late and now we have to shift the lineup and now our set times are cut back, and well, I'm not cutting my set time back for that. That's their problem. And then that starts more problems, Like actually, a good example was Friday night at Loud as Hell. The windstorm came in, ripped everybody's tents apart.
We showed up as soon as that happened.
It was nuts. And
it was.
Juliet Ruin sacrificed their whole set. They weren't even asked to. They did it of their own accord. They sacrificed their whole set so that the rest of the show could get back on track without any of these issues because they knew the end goal. And huge shout out to Juliet Ruin from Edmonton. Big props to them because I love that kind of stuff. That's the stuff that this is all that keeps these things going. And you can bet your ass Juliet Ruin will get a spot next year for sure.
Yeah, and that's a professional move, seeing that and even just hearing about that now, like that's awesome. Like kudos to those guys for making the sacrifice. Now, it would have been, was there any other time open throughout the rest of the weekend that they were able to kind of sneak in? So they sacrificed the whole festival to keep it moving.
From what I understand, that was because they were able to pull themselves from the whole set. Everybody else was able to play at the same time. They maybe got pushed back 10 or 15
stuff
minutes.
Like that. Want to like now? I'm probably gonna go on I want to go on their website tomorrow or something and like buy a T-shirt or something to be like, right. Hey, you know what? That's solid move. Like we've had to do that sometimes. Maybe we've had. Maybe the opening band, like we were talking about, they have technical issues for 25 minutes, but then their set is still 45 minutes. And it's like, well, hey, you got to kind of like, wasn't all the other bands' fault that you got technical issues? And hey, that shit happens.
Yeah.
But we've had those times where it's like, hey, technical issues at the beginning of the show, we're co-headlining. The headliner bands from out of town, we don't want them starting at 1:30 in the morning. So, hey, we're going to play 3-4 songs, and that's it.
Yeah.
we'll get out of here. You make your sacrifices where you got it.
Exactly, and it's all about that end goal. It's all about getting those shows. It's all about getting those performances out, so that, because in the end, that's what we're doing this for. We're not doing this to go and battle politics with other bands and other musicians. Like, come on, man, how boring is that?
Yeah, and it's not like, well, I showed up and I got my 45 minutes no matter what. It's like, hey, it never runs smoothly. Everything always runs a little over. Things happen. You got to kind of adjust as the group, right? And be like, okay, guys, like let's trim a couple songs so we can get that headline band on. It's a Thursday night, and they don't want to go on at 1 a.m. There ain't gonna be nobody there.
Yeah, let's work this out together. Let's work this out together.
And then you know what? Maybe that headline band remembers that and goes, hey, let's pull these guys up for a show or a tour. They were really cool. They got it. They cut their set short. People remember that stuff, man, when you make those sacrifices. So Juliet Ruin, man, like, hats off to you guys. Kudos, man. Like, that's a big sacrifice. And for a festival like that, that's not playing at Long John Silver's on a Wednesday night during the dinner rush.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great festival. So I mean, for them,
they had a good time slot too.
On.
They did. They had a really killer time slot.
Yeah. Well, everybody listening, go give them a like or a follow, and go buy a T-shirt or something, because
they got new music coming out. And we are. So the playlist is you guys, Juliet Ruin, and Cosm. And
nice.
I've been giving them extra promo on the show because of that reason. Because they're
that shows the level of professionalism and probably their age too, right? That maturity and speaks volumes.
Yeah. I Jess was supposed to be on the show, but she ended up running into some life stuff, so we had to reschedule. But we're gonna reschedule for the end of September, and she said by then I will have some new stuff to talk about. So I heard whispers at Loud as Hell about new music from them too, so I'll be very stoked about that. Now, Tortured Saint just released an album. Yes
we did. That was we released that just before we went on tour. I think the Friday, the first show of the tour, so I think it was the 22nd, the 23rd of July or something like that. But definitely a couple years in the making. Obviously pre-pandemic. I think we came home from tour and we started writing the next record because we were going to do Loud as Hell that upcoming year, the 2020 or whatever.
Yeah.
But then with the world taking a shit, we kind of we were still working pretty hard on it. We had big dreams that we'll get this album done and then we'll go do this other tour. Boy, was our appetite.
Your eyes, yeah.
There was no way we would have had it done before then. Like we were dreaming big, man. But we kept working, kept plugging away, did those final touches, and got it out. So I'm really stoked about it. Really happy about this album. It
sounds deadly. Sounds fucking deadly.
Thank you, man. It does, man. And that's a lot of the guys we're working with, just making it sound awesome, and making it sound crisp and the mixing and everything and the mastering. Like the mixing was done by Mike Spreitzer from Devil Driver. And he's did the last couple records, and he just keeps outdoing himself. Just sounds phenomenal. Everything's so well balanced. Every song's, I believe, has like different amps on it and stuff like that. So it's not like you're getting the same guitar tone through the whole thing, right? Like he's mixed it up. Takes his time. He's very thorough. Always explains to me like what he's doing, why he's doing it. So I mean, he's been a fountain of knowledge too to learn from, and kind of get somebody at his caliber who's recorded a lot of the Devil Driver stuff and a lot of other bands. Wednesday 13. I think he's done.
Yeah,
done a few others.
They're all Dirty South. They're all Carolina boys. Like. From their NC guys, Wednesday 13, North Carolina, fucking Des Fafera and Devil Driver, they're fucking Southern boys too, right? So like,
they're all California.
They're all California guys?
They're all California guys.
I thought fucking Wednesday 13 was from North Carolina.
They might be. I think Wednesday is.
Huh.
But for the Devil Driver guys, I'm pretty sure they're all originally from.
That makes
from
sense.
Cali.
That makes sense. I just smoke a lot of dope, man. What can I say?
That's all. The same here, brother, all day long.
But they roll in the same circles, right? And that's why you get those bands that go under these same fucking producers, because they're just like, yeah, man, I'm already here. We're already hanging out. Let's do it up.
Yeah. I think they're all good friends too, right? So I mean, it's everybody helping everybody, right? So Mike's always has been a big help, and we had Alan Douches from New York did the mastering, and he's kind of like the guy with mastering. I was like, Mike hooked us up with him, and there should almost be a list of bands that he hasn't done. Like, you name a band, he's mastered them. Judas Priest, Motorhead, Despised Icon, Chimera, Trivium, Devil Driver, Black Dahlia,
Gnarly.
like everybody. So he's having those two guys on the record and help. Those are the guys that made it sound sonically like just grade A. Like, just sounds phenomenal too, right?
Fucking deadly. It definitely does. I'm a Devil Driver fan from way back in the day. I'm an old school Coal Chamber fan too. Like, Des Fafara is a huge influence on me vocally, for sure. Maybe not so much these days, but I definitely know where my roots are when it comes to those sorts of things. What about you? What are your major influences when it comes to music?
When it comes to music, I grew up on a lot of the old school stuff. Like, I was lucky to my parents and my family, right? They always had Black Sabbath in the background, and Judas Priest and AC/DC, Skid Row, Guns N' Roses and stuff. So I kind of grew up on that when I was really young, and then my very first concert was Pantera, Sepultura, and Morbid Angel, and that's kind of, I think that I always credit that to being the show that kind of turned me, I guess, right? Like,
that was fucking that was Max Cavalera and Igor Cavalera at that time too, was it not?
Yeah. So it was for a first concert, man. Nobody's touched that show.
No, like Morbid Angel too, man. Like, that's pretty sick, buddy.
It was pretty wild, and I think I was playing guitar at the time, but maybe not as serious. But after watching Dimebag, I think I was like 3 or 4 rows back from like the main stage, and just kind of stood in front of Dimebag the whole time, and just watching him play. After that, it was just like supercharged. Like, all I wanted to do was play guitar, right? And
Nice. We were actually talking about that while we were figuring out your microphone issue here. What do you think about this Pantera reunion? Do you think it's a reunion? You think it's a tribute? You think it's a cover? What's going on here?
You know what? A few people. I'm a huge Pantera head, so like I get this question. Have been getting it a lot. Like, even like, even my arm, I got Dimebag Darrell tattooed right there.
Yeah.
You know, and I like it, man. Like, at first, maybe I was a little bit kind of like, is this get some money or whatever? But I see it as a tribute thing, and I think it's cool. I think nobody else could play guitar besides Zach if they were to do it.
Yeah, and it was funny because when it launched, they were like, Zach said he's not playing guitar. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, we all knew it was. They were just trying to like throw funny at us. But I mean, I think they are doing it, like, they're honoring the brothers, and I don't see it as much of a, hey, let's all go out and just make a quick $1 million. Maybe it is one of those things of like, how many times do those guys do an interview and that question gets asked, right? So is it one of those things like, let's do it and shut everyone up?
So I see it from both ways. My first band was heavily influenced by Pantera, like fucking straight up and down.
Yeah.
Darcy is all about Dimebag riffs, and we watched vulgar videos, fucking Dime Vision videos. Every time we partied together, we'd get wasted, and we finished the night off watching fucking vulgar videos from hell, or watching fucking Dime Vision. And same shit over and over again. So, like, I see it from the side of, you know, Phil was there for that, Rex was there for that, Zach was there for that, and Charlie was there for that too. But maybe not Zach and Charlie in the band. Zach was there for a lot of the band stuff too. You know, he shared a lot of those things. But for Phil and Rex, they were there for those songs too. They were there for those shows. They were a part of that band too. I know Phil has been banging out Pantera songs with Phil Anselmo and the Illegals, right? But
Yeah.
But that's not the same as getting back together with Rex. And this is another thing too. Rex, I could see Rex needing this leg back up again, you know, because my band almost played a show with Rex's other band, Kill Devil Hill. And you know, all I could think was like, what the fuck is this guy doing bootstrapping with us? Like, this guy should be, like, rubbing shoulders, fucking session musician, Rex fucking Brown, you know? But then again, I never met the guy, so I also don't know his intentions. He could have been right exactly where he fucking wanted to be, right? But, you know, I also see it from the other side of Phil Anselmo being like, fuck, now that Vinny's gone, I can finally roll out the fucking Pantera branding and play these fucking songs because I've been practicing them with my other band, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say anything bad about it because a lot of people listened to those songs and thought they were never, ever going to get an experience of that, and now they get a chance to fucking see that. And regardless of what any of the old heads think about, oh, this isn't the real fucking thing, it's still going to be fucking amazing. Those shows are going to be insane. There's going to be lots of really wicked videos, and, like, it's going to be fucking intense to see. It really is.
I'm pretty confident they're going to do the brothers right, you know, and keep it more as, like, the tribute thing. And I think you're right too, for the people who never got to see Pantera live. Like, I'm very fortunate I got to see them. I think they only played 5 or 6 shows or something maybe after I seen them, so I like seen one of the last Pantera shows. And what an experience. Are we going to get that again? Unfortunately, we never will. But to go and celebrate those songs, and you know, even if it's like, you know, considered half a cover band, and that's still a cool party. I still go to.
Oh yeah.
I still go to support it, and I'm all for it. Because like I was at a few years ago, I've been to. I go to NAMM. I used to go to NAMM every year when NAMM was on. So they would have the Dime Bash. So I would go to the official Dime Bash, and that's all it was everybody jumping on stage, playing instruments. Like, I got video and you know, watching Corey Taylor singing with Charlie on drums, Rex, you know, what's his name from Megadeth, one of the guitar players out of the list of 25. Can't remember his name right now, but he plays in In Flames. Fuck, why can't I think of his fucking name? Chris Broderick.
Oh, okay.
But I mean,
yeah.
it was such a cool jam. Like, seeing like that was like a touring package. It's like, man, if that was a touring package, that was like the coolest show that no one ever gets to see unless you go to Dime Bash. Like, it was still great.
Another thing with shows like that, though, too, as the second you try and do something like that in an unauthentic setting like that, people are automatically trying to sniff out a scam, right? Who's scamming who? Who's getting paid the most out of this? That's why you got to have those things at those, like, everybody here's pros, everybody here's musicians. Like, a lot of people can't even buy passes if they don't get the invite to fucking buy the passes and shit. Like, so
yeah,
it's not, you know, it's not like Joe Schmo off the street can show up with a camera, get a whole bunch of footage, and then just dip out and make a whole bunch of fucking content about it. Oh, this is coming out, this is coming out, this is coming out. It's like, no, this was a bunch of buddies partying and jamming, and you weren't invited.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be deadly.
Yeah.
I got a buddy who's like, I don't care about what any of you have to fucking say. I'm going to fucking see Pantera.
Yeah, it's and you're always gonna have those naysayers, right? And you know the naysayers are gonna come out as soon as they reveal the ticket prices. Then they're you know, you might see some VIP packages or those front row tickets, maybe over $100, and then those people are gonna come out of the woodwork. Oh, see, they're just trying to get money, and it's like, well, no, they gotta. Well, yeah, those guys got to get paid too, but I mean, you're seeing a pretty unique show at the same time. Like,
I see. Well, and see, you got to see this too. Right now, it's festival appearances. Like all the things I saw come out were huge festival dates, like Hellfest. I'm pretty sure it was Hellfest I saw come out, and was it Donington Park? A couple of really big European festivals, and Pantera's name was right there, right? And then they're saying Pantera tour dates are coming out. I don't think that they'll tour. I don't think they'll do like a headlining tour. I think they'll just jump on these festival dates because they're easier. You know,
Yeah.
You get just as much money because your merch is sitting there selling for as long as the festival is. You only have to pay, or you only have to play for your set, and you're in your trailer just chilling there. You don't have to travel place to place. You don't got to worry about flights and fucking making sure your gear's in the right place at the right time. And oh shit, our gear got lost. Whatever. You just fly out there. You're out there for a week or so. Fucking back out of there, and you made just as much money as if you would have done a small tour or like a fair sized tour, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think it's going to be a kind of a select dates, kind of like special appearances, and I think festivals is the way for them to go about doing that. And it's and then that way, you know, they're maybe not playing someplace that has a cap, and they're like, oh, this is going to sell out real quick, but not everyone gets to go. So if it's an outdoor festival, then maybe, you know, they can get more people there. That way it's everybody has a chance, I guess, to get in and kind of see it for the people who have never seen them, right? So
yeah, more fire too. More fire. You know, more sick pyro displays if you're on a gnarly outdoor fucking open air stage, right?
I seen them in Detroit at the Palace. And like I said, I was like 3-4 rows behind, and this would have been Reinventing the Steel tour. So they had the big steel Pantera thing behind them. And when they would play, when they opened up, and the Hellbound, and those flames would come up off the fucking Pantera logo, my fucking eyebrows were like singed, man. It was so hot. Like, those flames were... I was burning up in the crowd. I could just imagine, like, those guys must have just been like,
yeah,
I don't know how they
dude.
did it.
Could you imagine a Rammstein concert?
Oh,
Everybody's just covered in like flame retardant gel because they're on stage.
I seen something that they use 14,000 liters of like diesel fuel a show, something like that.
What? These guys, and like, so my buddies, when I had a couple of friends go out to Montreal for the Rammstein show, and they were like, this is like a metal festival, but it's only one band and it's only one night. I'm like, Rammstein is Death Clock. Like, you don't realize Rammstein is Death Clock.
Well, you see their stage too. Like, holy cow, that's like, it's like moving in a city, a small city there.
It's like five or six stories tall. Like, it's insane, man. And
I used to think Iron Maiden had the biggest like stage presence, but now after seeing Rammstein, I'm just like, no, I think Rammstein's got about a dozen more transport trucks than you guys do.
And I'm starting to see more and more how Rammstein is Death Clock. Not just by the way they their shows are, but like by their attitudes they have towards things. Like, they're ridiculous, but they're still incredibly serious about their music. Their fans, like, there's so many of them all over the world. It's like if you flick a switch and you were in a crowd, you'd see just a couple people, like, their ears would perk up and they would all just leave the crowd. And it's like, oh shit, that's a Rammstein concert coming to town.
Yeah, I know. Like, even you see like on like Instagram and stuff, when those guys are like in their home city, like, they're like royalty. Like, they're coming
Germany
out of
all
hotels
together, man. Germany just loves Rammstein.
You know, oh yeah, like, you could, you know, they're getting way more love than the soccer teams over there, and you know, usually fans are pretty maniacal for the footy.
This is the politician thing again, though, right? Picking a side is what gets you hated. And Rammstein is just, you know, music is just fucking straight down the pipe, right? And Rammstein has they definitely have some heavy political leanings, you know? but they're just killing it. They're, you know.
Oh, the power is undeniable, man. Like I think the tone I've been chasing is like, if Dimebag Darrell had a baby with Rammstein's guitar tone, it's like those are the two guitar tones that I'm like constantly like always aim for. Like, give me some Dimebag, make it sound like Rammstein. That's the guitar tone I want.
Hell yeah.
You know, like,
I just pulled them up on Spotify right now, and they have fucking 8.7 million monthly listeners.
That monthly listeners.
And that's so Spotify.
I think they're close to almost being stated like, can they be a religion now? Like,
right.
Have that.
Right. And so this for me is another thing too, like, because I know different countries, they have different services, you know? So Spotify might not even like be their main service. It might just be the thing that is part of the aggregation, right? Part of what their record labels or whatever uploads to. But 8.7 million monthly listeners, and they're just, we'll bang out a concert every couple of years, and because it takes a week to set up our stage and then a week to tear it down.
Yeah, and they probably only need to do like less than half a dozen shows a year, and they probably get paid, and they're good, you know. Like, and there's a lot that goes into their shows. I think too, when they play, I don't think they play no less than 2 hours. Like, they're like 2.5, 3.5 hours.
They play.
Right?
They play for hours, man. They play for a long time. That goes into the whole like one band metal fest thing, right? Like, you can't burn. Let's be honest. You can't burn 81,000 liters of diesel in 2 or 3 Rammstein songs. You know what I mean? Well, unless you're a redneck outside of Calgary here, you know, like. They go through some diesel during some Rammstein songs for sure.
Oh, they do. So going through all that fuel, I guess, and burning that all off. I guess that I don't think Greta Thunberg or whatever is going to be at one of her soon, right?
Oh Lord, it's hilarious seeing the people. So I have a guy. He's a Ukrainian refugee, and he got here a couple weeks ago. Name's Anton. He's a really nice guy. He's like, so many Canadian flag everywhere on everything. So many Canadian flag. I was like, yeah. So nationalism. Yeah, here you ever heard of nationalism? And his eyes got really big because in Ukraine and like in Eastern Europe, they have like white nationalist people in their government. You know what I mean? Like, people who are outright hateful towards other races, individuals. And I was like, no, our nationalism isn't like that. Ours is the fact that like our culture has a lot of mistaken identity. So a lot of people kind of try and pull their identity out of that flag. And he's like, so much, and fuck Trudeau. What's fuck Trudeau? Like, yeah, so this is another thing. We don't get in trouble for saying all this ridiculous, crazy bullshit about our politicians and about our leaders. People get to just say what they want about them, and they don't get in trouble for it because the country's so big. Because once again, in Eastern Europe, you go to places like Chechnya, you talk shit about the leader of Chechnya, you're liable to get killed. You're like, you and your whole family. So, scary stuff.
Like some places got laws with that, and that's what makes Canada great, right? I guess we can kind of do whatever and say whatever, and every country has their vice, but with the problems Canada has, I think
it could be so much worse
to so many other countries. So we can't really complain. Like you're living in Canada, that's why I say when anyone's complaining, I'm like, dude, we're living in Canada, and I've even had to put myself in check a few times. Like, you know what? I live in Canada. It could be a lot worse.
Like, I hear a lot of people complaining about the politicians, and it's like, well, if you got a problem with the politicians, you know what you got to do, right? Like, you got to do what they do. You got to, like, get your friends together and plan some fucking lobbying and like go and talk to the and vote, like work the system. You can't just sit around and complain about stuff and hope it's going to change. Like, your brain's just going to drip out of your ear.
Yeah, or like, if you don't vote, then don't complain, right?
Yeah, see?
But
See?
like, it's that's what makes Canada. That's what makes us crazy Canadians.
Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah. It's a big
Weekend.
fucking country, and there's only like fucking 9 states here.
Yeah, right. So what's going on with? I do have to ask though. What's going on with Horrify?
Oh, buddy. Okay, so lots is going on with Horrify. Lots is going on with Horrify. My guitarist Joel, he just had a baby, and he's like, I got to take some time. We got to take a break. And then he's like, you know what? Maybe we don't have to take a break. Maybe we should play another show, because I was getting asked. I got asked for like 5 or 6 shows in a week. Like a couple of them, 2 of them were overlapping shows. It was 2 people asking for us to play the same show. But hey, Mac, thanks for jumping in. Have a good night, buddy. Cheers. So I was just messaging him then. I was like, we've been inundated with shows, just so you guys know. So like when we're ready to come back from this break, like we're going to be able to play what we want. We'll be able to go do what we want. So they're like, well, maybe let's play another show. And I was like, well, let's try and get out of town for this show. And because the babies are fresh, Joel's new baby is just a couple months old. Russ is going to be having a baby in November. So we can't really leave the city.
Yeah, he wants to stay close to in case you're needed, right?
If something happens, got to be able to get home.
Gotta get in dad mode even before dad mode's needed, right?
Yeah. So, and I got an 8-year-old daughter. Joel's got fucking 15, 16, 79 kids, No, he just had number 4. He's got a beautiful family, and he's like 100% family man, and Dungeons and Dragons man.
Nice.
And this is Russ's first baby, and he's pretty stoked about it. He's made a lot of really killer fucking changes in his life. Just decided to kick it up into gear, so it's perfect time for him. But we got another show coming up. It's going to be a Halloween show, October 28th. And we're hoping to have a whole bunch of our new songs all learned up for this, because we have our new EP entirely demoed out now.
Nice.
So now we got one of the songs we've released, the new single, Forms of Canley. It comes out, it's out on Spotify September 4th. We dropped the video a month or 2 ago. Still experimenting with releases and stuff to see where the numbers go and what works and what doesn't. And our new release, the artwork is going to be insane. I was able to reconnect with one of my old friends. His name's Kyle Charles. Kyle Charles is an Indigenous comic book artist in Edmonton, and he is drawn for Heavy Metal magazine, and he's drawn for Marvel Comics as well. So
sweet.
Yeah, so we're getting a piece of artwork from him, and I pretty much told him what we want, because we want the heavy metal style. We want that detailed, like really deep, thick colors, not just another piece of computer-generated artwork, right? If it's going to be computer-generated, we want it to be computer-generated by an artist who can also generate on paper, right? Because a lot of the AI stuff coming out these days, the AI stuff is really cool, but I'm going to pick art from a person every time, I'm going to pick art thrown on. Oh, my buddy Matt says, love the tunes, Tim. Can't wait to see you guys next time you come through. Matt, love you too, buddy. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a great night.
Right on. Thanks, Matt.
My buddy Matt from Edmonton, he's starting up a band called Defined by Chaos. They're going to be sick. They're really deadly. But so we were able to let him know, like, this is what we want, this style. And he's like, I know exactly what you're talking about. Just let me know the deposit's this much. After you send the deposit, then I schedule it in. And then he's giving me the layout for how the transaction's going to work, right? So now I go into the chat and I pull all these sick little pieces of artwork out and send them to him, because the artwork that we want, we go with our themes as spiders, because it's just the way it came out when I started the band, because the band was started as a joke. So the theme is spiders, and we're going to get a spider devouring a fucking city like Godzilla.
Nice.
Heavy metal.
Like what was that old horror? I love old school horror movies. What was the old tarantula movie where it's like that. The tarantulas like take over the city.
So we found that, I can't remember what it's called either, but we found that poster art, and we found it, but it was translated into Japanese, and we were like, man, this Japanese movie, we should just take this art and just like this movie poster and just slap it on a shirt for like a little shirt run. And somebody, I think it was Joel, did some Googling on it, and he's like, it's actually a Japanese movie poster for an American movie. I was like,
isn't that funny too? I always find like, and like we even just did it. Sometimes like a band almost has like an animal mascot, so you will. Like you always have like something, and sometimes you don't pick it. It just kind of like happens. Like I think with us, we had some artwork done, or we bought some artwork, and it had this deer guy, like this cattle skull and horns. And then we got this other piece of artwork that we found and we really liked, and it had some cattle skull in it and it had some horns. And then this guy, Mikio from Silent Q Design, did up our new album cover for Dimanthia. And we just kind of told him like, oh, maybe this and this, here's some of our ideas. Never said nothing about, the deer guy. And here this deer guy shows back up, and it's kind of like, man, I think the deer guy like picked us.
yeah.
Like he keeps showing back up, and like, or the hooded men, and like they just kind of naturally just kind of keeps happening.
Yeah.
And like we're not even trying to do it on purpose. So it seems like Spiders is kind of gonna like almost be like your guys' mascot.
It's a neutral thing too, right? It's not like, because a lot of people, and this is another thing that we've had talks about in the band, is like the anti-theistic imagery, like, okay, well, that seems, in our minds, we aren't people who are like that. We're not anti-theistic types. Like Joel considers himself Christian, and his family's Christian, and that's his beliefs, right? So we're not just gonna go and like do anti-Christian stuff or anti-whatever sort of religion stuff, because it's not our bag. Upside down crosses, burning churches, whatever,
Yeah.
Bands get to do what they want. But the Spiders thing is like, oh, it's edgy, it's scary, it's got like cool dark style that kind of fits with our music. The band is called Horrify, so I had an artist who just kind of whipped it all up for me and sent it out, and that's what she came up with. And we don't work together anymore, but she did a great job, and we're still going to keep with it. But we're going to be changing up our logo. The guys want to change up the logo. They're like, we should change up the logo, but we should do something we can read. So I was like, let's do like the Willy Wonka logo. Let's do the Willy Wonka font for our logo, like fucking Party Cannon, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna try that out. And see if people have something to say about it, because that's pretty much what we're trying to do. Is like get people to be like, what the fuck is this? And then when they hear us, they're like, oh my goodness, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, have fun with it, right? Like we updated our logo on this album, and it sorely needed it.
It looks solid.
It was a very stock image that was altered, like, so like it didn't change drastically, but it got that originality, like where an artist actually did it, where it's not just a font you could go get off the, and there's nothing wrong with that, but
I feel like there is something wrong with it. I'm I get very very heated about this kind of stuff, because like, okay, you're right that there isn't anything wrong with it. Like, you're not going to get, nobody's going to blacklist you from shows and like consider you an art thief or anything, because a lot of these fonts are free, like the Trash Talk logo. This is the same thing. It's a modified font, but at the same time, it was made to be original in the way it's all set up, in the way that it's all modified. And like, if you were to go find the root font that's from, you wouldn't be able to really see the same logo in there, right? But that's where you have an artist. But bands that take like online fonts and don't, because I can see an online font from a mile away. I was researching fonts for cool band logos when I was like 13 years old, and I looked through all 1001 of the 1001 free fonts,
You and me both. I've done it multiple times.
So I can see them, right? And it's like, come on, you guys. Like, there's artists out there that will charge you $50 and they will send you 17 different colorways of your logo. They'll put it on black backgrounds, white backgrounds. They'll send you all those colorways with no backgrounds, and like for $50, you know. The Indonesian guys right now are insane. They got such killer artwork. And then there's people just like throwing around like scratch wall OXO font, and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, right. It's you know, sometimes you just gotta dig in your pockets a little bit and be like, hey, there's 5 of us, there's 4 of us,
Or
there's 6
ask
of us.
around too, right? Because some people can
Everyone
dig.
puts in $20.
Yeah, everybody can dig in their pockets though too. But what I've noticed is some people don't know where to look for that. Oh, well, I don't know where to find an artist. It's like, go look on your Instagram. Because I guarantee you,
tons of artists.
they've already tried to pitch to you. Can guarantee
Yeah,
it.
right. And you know what? Our font, I don't think it was like the old style font. We never noticed how bad it was until we started seeing that same font on like businesses and business trucks. You know, my singer's like pointing out some sign to some like noodle factory, and it's our same font. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, maybe this isn't as cool anymore.
Yeah, that's
you
why
know?
I've always gone for original logos. In my first band, our drummer drew it by hand, and we got it digitized, and we used that. This one, my old artist did the same thing, drew it by hand to like a little sketch that I did up a way I wanted it done. I was like, make sure the Y and the W hook around, and make sure the R's, one of them's backwards, and then she she whipped it up, and it looked great because of that reason. Because like logos and branding and definitive imagery is so important to click in people's heads, because we're so inundated with media, not just social media, but media from everywhere. And it's all about pay attention to other people's stuff so you don't have to pay attention to your stuff, right? So after a while, you start to kind of use that as a tool. At least I have, and I can pick branding out of places and see stuff. And it's like, bands, come on, you guys, there's resources out there. And then they're like, well, why isn't this picking up and why isn't this picking up? It's like, because you're not picking up. You're just you can't do all this stuff on your own. You're like, a music scene and getting out there is not about doing it all on your own. Even the ones who you don't think have social media and all that stuff, they're still talking to someone. They're still creating relationships with somebody out there in order to get their stuff out there.
Yeah, and what do you got to lose? Like maybe you reach out to someone and you throw them your logo or your idea, and maybe they come back to you with something that's just it blows you off your seat, and you're like, oh my God, this looks amazing. Like you don't take a chance. You don't really got much to lose. And like I've seen some younger bands, and like I was just saying, like I was guilty of it too. But I've seen some younger bands where I'm just like, their logo is just fucking horrendous. And it's like they're a great band, name's cool and all that, but like you're saying, hey guys, like just go spend the $100 or something like that. Get an artist to really do you up something, because branding is important, right? Like it's, if Nike got rid of the swoosh, little swoop thing on everything that they make, are you going to recognize it as being Nike brand?
Well, and let's talk about bands too. You got a Metallica tattoo on your arm. I'm not even a Metallica fan, but I know that logo,
Yeah.
Metallica's font, like the M and the A, those lightning bolts, the Sepultura font. You got the In Flames font, Pantera's font, and Pantera's font is just blocky and square, and they just kind of took the same things, like Anthrax extended the ends of the logo. Dark Angel extended the ends of the logo. Like, signature things like that look like other stuff is good, but don't look like the stuff that's already out there done by everybody else, And keep it. You can't just keep changing stuff up all the time. And these days it's a little bit different, because you see bands that don't really have logos, but a lot of those bands have like high-end artists. They're always working on new merch. They're always working on new pieces of art. So their logos, they get like insignias, right?
Yeah.
Like like Bring Me the Horizon, they got the sacred geometry, the big sacred geometry flower as their logo, and or as their insignia, and it's on everything, right? And Slipknot's another one, you know, very signature look. That S, that 6 or that 9-pointed star that they had, you know, those things are signature and key. And I'm also pretty sticky about this too, but like the way that you look on stage, you know, for a lot of bands, it's not very important because a lot of bands are like, they get out there enough where they're playing shows all the time that they don't have to worry about what they're wearing, right? But when you're in a position of a band that only gets to play shows every now and again, you got to make sure that people have something to kind of key in from the last time they saw you. And having the same kind of look on stage is a really good way to help that work. Like my drummer wears a fucking Casey Jones mask, like an official. He's like, man, fucking spent almost $100 on this fucking mask. I was like, well, you better wear it then, Rux. And like, it's got the actual like hockey mask straps and everything on the back too. So like, it's legit. And he plays a couple songs in the mask and a couple songs out of the mask. And it's, you know, it's the shtick. Joel, our guitar player, looks like Dr. Robotnik.
But that's how you identify him, right? And that's how you know, oh, that's the guy from that band. Like he's got his identity, and you know, it doesn't even have to be all 5 guys perfectly in sync, maybe wearing the same thing. Like that's cool too. But at least if you maybe have some consistency, somewhat of a theme. Like it's kind of tough when you got, you know, maybe 4 of the guys in the band are all wearing black band shirts, and then you got one guy wearing white sneakers and a red Miller Lite t-shirt and a white hat on. You know, like he just completely standing out from the rest of yous, right?
Yeah, doesn't look like he tried to like play the part or anything, right? And that's another thing too, is when regular people go and see bands, they don't want to see just regular people up there bopping around. They want to see people that are fucking something different, that are performers, that are doing a performance, you know? And I'm a little bit of a freak show on and off the stage. That's kind of why I just was like, you know what? I got to put a label on this before people think I'm just out of my fucking mind. The thing is
then you stand out in the crowd too when you're walking through it. You know, at least people can kind of see like, oh, he must be one of the guys in the band or a band. If you kind of have somewhat of a little bit more, you know, you're standing out a little bit more. Like, you know, our bass player's got these killer military boots that, no, those are like his thing he wears on stage, you know, like they go all the way up to his knees.
Yeah.
That's his thing. And every time you're on stage, you see him, he's got his military boots on. He's ready for war, right?
Hell yeah.
But he's got his look down, you know, and, you know, everybody's kind of got their own little thing. We're not necessarily wearing uniforms, but we talk about that all the time. Like we just shot a music video last week, about a week ago, and we kind of had to talk about that of like, hey, last time we shot a music video, we were all like wearing our regular stuff. Like we're all wearing band shirts, you know what I mean? And, you know, a drummer brought up a good point. It's kind of like, well, hey, you know, if we're all wearing band shirts and someone who's going to go watch the music video is like, well, I guess I know what this band's going to sound like. It's going to sound like Pantera, some Black Sabbath, some Despised Icon, some Dying Fetus, and this. And those are the 5 shirts they're wearing, so I guess that's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
And it's a good point, right? You kind of like, you're already almost giving it away, your sound. Hey, these are all our influences. So we kind of went with, hey, you know, let's just go neutral on this one. Just no logos. Like keep it dark, but we're not branding anything. Let's just go neutral on this one, right? And
hell yeah, it makes perfect sense.
That brand, what you're talking about.
Yeah, right? It makes perfect sense, man. We got a band out here in Edmonton called Tides of Karen, and is it? Yeah, they do the same thing. They got the shirts. They got their sleeveless button-up shirts, and they got the logos on them and stuff. And it's I feel it's for the same reason. They don't want to be defined by anything, but honestly, they're like heavy-duty Amon Amarth style melodic death metal. They're really rad. Good buddies. Now I got to ask you about what happened at Loud as Hell.
Oh fuck.
What happened?
Yeah, that was did I even get to meet you at Loud?
No,
I
no.
feel like me and you met briefly. Really briefly.
I was running around to bands and going to see a bunch of people. Like I made it up to stage maybe 4 or 5 times. I did an interview with My Hollow though.
Yeah, I seen that. So what had happened, our tour was like, it was awesome, it was fun and all that, but we had so many vehicle problems in between each show. So I mean, it was stressful, like, and it was my van too, and this is like, our first van broke down 30 minutes when we left my house to start the tour. 30 minutes out, you know, and we're 3.5 days away from driving to Loud as Hell. Transmission blows, you know, we just spent like 10 grand on this van. So that was like a kick in the pants. So I have another tour van that I bought years ago, but I use it as my everyday vehicle as well, right? Like I kind of use it for work and stuff like that. So it has a lot of kilometers on it, so I was kind of
Oh shit.
a little bit leery that Old Blue was gonna make the long trip.
Yeah, not only are you gonna be out a tour vehicle, but you'll be out your daily driver too.
That too, right? So I'm kind of just sitting there stressing, going, okay, like I just want to get through the tour, but I might show up and not have a vehicle and I live out in the country, so like I'm fucked, and I don't got the money to buy another vehicle, right? So I was super stressed, and yeah, we just had a lot of vehicle problems, like a lot of minor stuff too, but just those little hiccups that are just kind of like always like, like again, you know, like it just becomes stressful. So we made it to Loud as Hell, which was the second last show of the tour, and a couple of us too weren't feeling that great too, you know what I mean? Just I haven't been sick in like 7 years. Like I never get sick. I stay pretty healthy, eat pretty healthy. Of course, when the tour comes, I start getting the flu and getting sick. I'm just like, fuck, like out of all the times you're gonna do this now, like
yeah,
of course, right? So we get to Loud as Hell, and I'm just starting to feel better. As soon as we get there, too, after all the vehicle problems, we start setting up the tents, and then that's what you were mentioning. That storm came in.
Yeah.
So we're just like, oh, fucking Tortured Saint brought that dark cloud with us. You know, we get through the storm, and we you know, we were on top of the hill partying with everybody, and fucking had a great time. I was just kind of starting to feel better. So I think it was like maybe like midnight or something like that, 1 a.m. The guys are still kind of partying. And I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling better, but I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I'm going to go to bed a little bit earlier just so I'm fucking solid to go tomorrow. Like, I want to make sure that I'm really, really good. So I jump in the van, and we had a bunch of luggage in the back of the van, right? In the passenger van. And I was trying to take out the sun visor for the window. Because I figured, okay, if I'm going to crash in here, that sun's going to come through that windshield, and I'm going to wake up, it's going to be a fucking sauna in here. So as I'm like pulling it out, it's like an accordion style, right? Like the fucking... So as I'm like pulling it out of the back of the van, there was like something on top of it, so it was like kind of stuck. And I just, like fucking idiot, I fucking pulled it out, and I think that accordion thing kind of like opened or something. And I fucking damaged my cornea really bad, like scratched my eye fucking really bad. And like, I thought I poked myself in the eye. So I'm, you know, when you're an idiot and you poke yourself in the eye, I'm like, all right, this is going to hurt for 20 minutes. And it was like 2-3 hours later, and the pain was getting fucking excruciating. I've never fucking felt pain like this in my fucking life. And I'm just sitting there going like, what the fuck? Like, I'm just getting over a sickness. Now I got this. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I've been waiting 3 years to get to Loud as Hell, and now I just did this. So I waited till about 7 in the morning, 7:30, because the guys were up all night and partying, so I knew, like, I wanted to let them sleep, kind of sober up a bit. And when they woke up, like, I think one guy woke up, and I was just like, hey, man, like, something's seriously not right with my eye. I'm on, like, hour 5 here, and the fucking pain is just getting 10 times fucking worse. Like, I still haven't slept. I haven't ate. I'm fucking excruciating pain, like digging my hands into the seat just to try to transfer that pain.
Eye pain
somewhere.
Is the worst too, man.
It's like tooth pain, right? It just
yeah,
doesn't
and your eye is like leaking, and then you're like trying to wipe your eye without rubbing your fucking eye, and it's like, oh my God.
I couldn't even fucking open my eye. Like, it was, and then, you know, when you got pain like that's like in your fucking head, you try to like, just try to think of something else and don't ignore the pain. Yeah.
Not with your eye. Not with your fucking
fuck.
eyes.
So I got those guys to bring me to the hospital because I'm like, I gotta go get checked out. So they put, did some, I don't know, they X-rays or like took some pictures of my eye and put the dye in and stuff, and then showed me the picture of like how much I damaged my cornea. And the doctor was like, usually people scratch their cornea, it's like a hair scratch. I had like a 3 millimeter, like a quarter of my fucking eye damage, and he's like, you fucking damaged this really good. And he was telling me too, like, most of the nerve endings are in your eyeball. So like, he looked at me, he's like, do you want something for the pain? Because he's like, I know you are fucking in excruciating pain right now. So they gave me a little something, but they were giving me these eye drops, these freezing eye drops. I think they use them for like surgery. So they're not good to continuously use, like to keep using it. And but that was the only thing that would touch the pain. So like when I would put this stuff in, it would freeze my eyeball and half my face, and it would be like instant relief, like it was gone, never fucking happened. My eye would be cloudy, but it was instantly gone. But that 1 drop or 2 drops would last about 45 minutes or an hour, and it would be like an ice cube let go. And as soon as that freezing let go, that fucking pain was back like a hurricane, and it could happen at any time. So I was in the hospital all fucking weekend, like for Loud as Hell. The guys kept checking on me. I get out Saturday night, I go to My Hollow's hotel or something, try to crash a few hours. I go to Loud as Hell like late Saturday night. I think the only band I caught was Divinity. I caught their set with fucking like one eye, I could barely see. And then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go back to the hotel room, try to get some sleep, right? Again, no sleep all night. I'm on like day 5 or 6 of just no sleep. So I mean, I was, I was a fucking pleasure to be around, I tell you. I was fucking miserable, man.
All the guys were, everybody I talked to, they're like, fuck, man. Tim was so upset. He really wanted to be here. They're like, he fucking hurt his eye, and like, he's not fucking feeling it. And like, everybody was really pulling for you, man. Like, definitely sucked to hear.
Dumb freak accidents that are just like, even as I'm holding my eye, I'm just like, looking up at the sky. I'm just like, fucking what, God? Like, what now?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Come on, man. Like,
that's why I had to reach out though, because I was talking to the boys from My Hollow after the interview, and I was like, so what happened with Tim from Tortured Saint? And he's like, well, he hurt his eye, and like, he's not doing too good, and he's just chilling at the hotel. And I was like, well, I'm gonna have to get a hold of him and get him on the fucking show anyway. Like, that's not how I do this shit. It's not how I do this shit.
Because I didn't get to see all you guys and kind of, go network, go meet some new cats, see some bands that I wanted to see, a bunch of my friends' bands that got to play, like, that I was waiting to see. I didn't get to see them. Like, I didn't get to see Siren, so, like, Sloan fucking tore a strip off me, right? And so I owe her a show. And then, like, my boys from Vancouver, Exterminatus, like, those guys are fucking amazing. They're so awesome. I missed their set, too. Just a lot of bands that I wanted to see every band. And I got to miss out on it all. So Sunday, my eye wasn't getting any better. When you were interviewing My Hollow, I went back to the hospital. So I was in the hospital, and I remember I ran into the guitarist and singer from WMD. I can't remember his first name, but
Skyler.
Yeah. Really cool dude. And I could just see he had a pass on in there, and I think he was in there dealing with something with
his girlfriend stepped in a fucking gopher hole and broke her ankle.
Oh, they were all over. So she like twisted her ankle, something bad. Hope she's better now. But
actually, so she's not. She's not better now.
That ground was like.
They went to fucking just last week. I think she might be better now, but just last week they fucking went to the luge thing that we have at COP at our ski hill here, and I was like, oh hey man, how was that luge thing? And he's like, oh, he was like, yeah, it was pretty sweet. I'm like, how's Sydney's foot? She's like, she fucked it up again while we were doing that. I was like, oh no,
that sucks. So I seen him in the hospital, and I was just talking shop, just like, oh hey, like what band are you with? Cool, when are you guys playing? He's like, oh, we played yesterday. And He's like, when do you play? I just kind of like look at my phone. I'm like, in about 2 hours. And he's like, holy shit, like, how the fuck are you going to get out of here? And there was a really nice lady that was in the waiting room, too, that was kind of like, I think she went back there before me. I think the hospital was getting a bit sick of me because I kept returning because they would give me, like, these little freezing eye drops at work. But there was, like, 4 drops in the little container. I'm like, okay, that's cool for the next 2 hours. Then what the fuck do I do? So that's why I kept going back. So I finally went back and was like, look I got to be on stage in like 2 hours and I can't, like, this pain is so excruciating. I can't play. Like, I need that freezing stuff. So I like fucking, wasn't, maybe the most polite with the doctors because at this point I'm the 3rd time there. I'm fucking fussy.
Yeah, like you guys have seen the pictures of what my eye looks like right now. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole.
I'm not seeking out narcotics.
I'm not asking you for OxyContin.
No, I'm asking, like, but the doctor was right. He's like, hey, this stuff, using it a lot, it's not good for your eye. I was like, I get that, but I have to be on stage. And he's just like, well, I'm like, dude, like, you can't call in sick to fucking rock and roll. I've been waiting for the show. I'm not gonna let my 4 boys down, but I need, like, a jug of that shit. Plus, I took a flight immediately after when I got off stage. So I literally, as the intro was playing, and I was all doped up, not sleeping or nothing. Like, I felt like I was fucking drunk, right?
Yeah.
So as the intro played on stage, I took a whole bottle of that freezing stuff, dumped it in my eye, and basically numbed the whole side of my face just so I could play that set. I got through that set, got off stage. Goran drove me to the Calgary airport, hopped on a fucking flight, and went immediately to Toronto to a specialist for my eye. And that was my loud as hell experience. Like,
fuck,
but
man.
The show goes on, and we got the show done. The only good thing about it was I played, at least in my mind, I played really well because I think I was so tired and so doped up. It felt like we were playing in halftime. So I had all this extra time to hit notes. So I'm just like, oh, I'm good.
and really, and in the crowd's mind, you were like on the floor drooling, like licking your guitar.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And in your mind, you're just like, oh yeah, I'm just fucking crushing it. The boys are like, what the fuck, Tim?
Meanwhile, the other guys are probably looking at me like, dude, he's not even in the right tuning.
Bro, turn on your guitar, Tim. You're like, yeah, I'm fucking killing it, guys.
But it felt like I was in such like quicksand that
I heard you guys crushed it.
To get to the next note, and I'm like, man, I'm actually playing really well because I'm so slowed down right now. So like, I listened back to some of the footage and I was kind of like, shit. I was like, yeah, I did make it work. I had no pain, but when me and Goran got in the van and drove like 20 minutes down the road, I was putting another drop in my eye, like it just was starting to release. So I kind of told those guys too, like, hey, I'll give you a cue after each song because it's like, if my eye would have let go, like that freezing,
I got to get a drop in there before the next song.
It would have been fucking. I probably would have had to like stop playing, squirt some more in, give myself a second, jump because I would have been in so much fucking pain.
Gnarly,
so luckily,
bro.
like the My Hollow guys like helped me, load my gear up on stage and kind of like, I was a little bit half blind up there, and the girls from Siren helped a lot. Loud as Hell festival staff and Jeff and all those guys, they were all nothing but accommodating and helping me out, and I really can't thank them all enough for helping me out. And the My Hollow guys, like, just absolute gems to bring on tour with us, even with all our vehicle breakdowns. Like, they stayed right beside us. They could have soldiered on and were like, no man, if you miss the show, we miss the show. Like, left no man behind. Like, they were just solid guys to bring. You couldn't have asked for anything better, especially with my eye injury. Everybody was they all helped me out, and I'm just gonna have to go to Loud as Hell next year so I can go say hi to everybody and talk to everybody. I think I got to see a couple of the guys from Exterminatus real quick as I think I was walking out, and was just like, hey, good to see you. Fuck, I know it's been a few years, but I gotta go catch a flight, and so it was. But at the end of the day, man, it's like we made every show.
Yeah.
Every show was killer. We had great turnouts at every show. Sold lots of merch. Had tons of fun. So all the stuff in between, whatever. That's the road life, man. If
You got to earn it back.
Smooth,
You got to earn it back.
ain't, man.
After the last couple years, man, everybody's out of practice. Everybody's a little bit rusty. You know, nobody's used to the fact that it could all fucking fall apart a half hour out of the driveway. You know, like, soldier the fuck on, you guys. It's not like this is the fucking thing that's going to end it all. It only stops when you say, I'm done. That's it.
Yeah, and then that's the great thing I got about I got a great group of guys because we all let out our quick fuck, when something breaks down, but we're all okay. Okay, what do we need to do? What's our options? Okay, we got this option. We could do this. We could do this. What's everyone thinking? Okay, well, maybe let's do this. You know what I mean? Like, or if we just got to make a quick decision, like we just okay, what do we have to do to get there?
Yeah.
And like, let's worry about the problem. Like, actually, right now, on the way back, so like our tour's not even over yet. So my van broke down in just outside of Sault Ste. Marie. So my van is like 8-10 hours away from me right now. So I've been home since tour for these last few weeks, living in the country. I got no vehicle. I can't go to the grocery store. Can't do nothing. Like, luckily, like Goran came over today, brought me to the grocery store, but I gotta jump on a train Wednesday, take a train to Sudbury, then hop on a bus. Gonna spend 12 hours to get to Sault Ste. Marie to pick up my van to bring my van back home.
Oh
so
my God.
So when the guys broke down with the trailer and all the gear, the first van that we had that lost a transmission, it just so happened that transmission got fixed and replaced when they broke down. So when they broke down, I was already back home from the flight. So I was home a few days earlier. And they called me up and said, okay, like the rear differential just went, the van's toast, like she's got to get fixed. And the mechanic couldn't touch it for like a week or two, right? So my parents happened to be here, and Goran's like, hey man, the green machine, the old green Ace Vandura, she's back in action. So I looked over at my parents. I'm like, you guys want to go for a cruise? So my mom and dad hopped in our other tour van, drove 10 hours, went and picked those guys up in the trailer. They slept in the back of the van. The guys drove the trailer back home. Got here late Thursday night, and we had our hometown show Friday night. So we literally made everything by the skin of our teeth, man.
Fucking earning it and burning it, man. That's what it's all about. Huge respect, buddy. Fucking rights. We'd fucking play a show with you guys any day of the fucking week, man. Because I have a feeling that it would be a fucking crusher.
Oh, fucking rights. What day did you guys play Loud as Hell?
We were the first band of the whole festival, man.
Were ya?
Yeah, Thursday night.
Nothing wrong with that, though.
Thursday night, fucking 9 o'clock sharp. We fucking played a razor sharp 25 minutes, and then I was booking interviews and fucking doing interviews.
Nice.
I even wanted to stay and get footage and like maybe do an interview the bands that were there. But by the time I got done work, got out to fucking Drumheller, got everything set up, got ready for the show. I did an interview with Sword Guy before the show. We went out to the show, fucking played, and then when we were done playing, I was like, I can't catch my fucking breath, and my back hurts. Like, I'm fucking done. I'm going back. We got to go back to camp. I got to have another drink and fucking sit down in one of them fucking chairs. And that's what we did. That's what we did. But I left my camera guy there, so we got some sick footage. We got some deadly footage of All Else Fails and of Paramnesia. So it worked.
Nice. We were listening to the Loud as Hell playlist like for a couple days on our way up there, and it was like I was really wasn't shocked that there were so many great bands, but I think there was just so many bands I never got to listen to yet. Right, a lot of them I'll see their names on flyers and stuff, so I know of them, but I haven't got to properly listen to them. And like we were listening to the whole playlist, and we were like, holy shit! Like, is there nothing but like jam packed with fucking talent, man? Like, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Like, Canada is sorely overlooked in the music industry, especially in metal, for a lot of the talent that is up here in Canada.
That's why I'm
Doesn't
trying to
get
do
enough-
this. That's what this whole
Doesn't get enough
platform's
eyes
for.
and ears, man.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
That band on your shirt fucking headline loud as hell one year too. Fucking Battlecross,
Yeah.
man. Like,
They're just from across the river where I'm at in Detroit.
yeah,
right?
buddy. Yeah.
So-
I'm hoping that they get an international actor too for next year. I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure Jeff was really close to booking an international this year, but just couldn't take the risk of, like, you know, you might. What if you can't do it? What if one of you guys catches COVID and you can't get over the border, or like you lose this, or like we're just gonna book in the country again, and it worked out really well, you know. And
I think that was a safe play on him too, to, you know, not have, because I mean, there's just too many weird things in the world, and you know, with transferring countries and all that, you never know, right? So I think Jeff made a good move by, you know, maybe do this year local, and next year I think will be a lot more open for those international acts.
Yeah.
Will feel more welcome to come to Canada, not have maybe as many restrictions or those the risk of something happening, right? So, but what a great festival Jeff put on, man. Like I was so impressed by just like the layout, the just the professionalism, the way and just the way everybody was acting, you know, like, you know, you didn't have any idiots out in the crowd being knuckleheads. Everybody was super cool. Like, you know, I seen people throwing stuff in garbages, you know, like people were like, it really looked like the place was getting respected. I mean, after that windstorm, I'm sure that fucking kicked up some dust, but I mean, there's a lot of, like, some of my guys were down near the merch tables when that happened, so they were helping, like, kind of close up the merch tents and get some merch in the boxes, and, you know, they were telling me, like, lots of people were helping and stuff, you know, everybody kind of jumped in and, like, you know, lent a hand to, like, to help help that, and that just, it's a really good sign and shows how good our scene is.
Yeah.
Of, like, how tight knit and how, like, the metal scene, how much of a family it really is, and how everybody works together. And yeah, Jeff put on a hell of a festival, man. It was awesome. For the time I was there, very little, it was fucking fantastic. So I'm hoping to go next year, whether we're playing or not. Like, I'll even just go as a spectator, just so I can kind of get the full meal deal of, like, kind of what I missed last year. And then maybe just get to talk to some, like, guys like yourself, and get to talk to some more people, you know, meet some other bands, and, you know, go appreciate their set and go say to them, you know, hey, I really loved your set and stuff like that. Like,
hey man, can I borrow your fucking cab quick? You know what I mean? Like, good set, bro. Let me borrow your cab.
Yeah, you know, like, just enjoy it, take it all in more. So it was a series of unfortunate events for me with my eye, but I mean, fucking shit happens, man. Like, that's tortured saint, man. That's just the way my karma and my luck goes. I'm Irish, so I got a little bit of that Irish luck sometimes. And I mean, at the end of the day, the show went on. The show was great. The crowd was great. All the shows happened. Our show back home in London was fucking damn near sold out.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, with all that, I kind of look back and see some of the videos and pictures from the tour and stuff, and I'm like, you know what, man, like, yeah, we still had a fucking great time, and you know, kicked some ass, and My Hollow was fucking kicking ass too. It was kind of tough to play after them guys sometimes, man. They go up there and shred the stage, and I was like, fuck, I gotta go on now after you just fucking did that. Like, fucking thanks, dude. Fuck.
Yeah,
like,
fucking
have a
right.
tough night, you know, fucking once in a while.
My eye hurts, you dicks.
Yeah, you know, and they're keeping my spirits lifted, right, with the jokes, you know, and you know, calling me Cyclops, or, you know,
Yeah.
cross the T's and dot the lowercase J's.
Yeah.
You know?
Fucking rights, man. That's awesome. Well, we've been fucking going for a little bit now, so we're going to have to wrap this up. But before we wrap this up, do you got any shout-outs that you want to throw out there? We're going to have to do another one. We're going to have to get you on again.
Yeah,
because
man, for sure. No, this is a lot of fun, man. We got fuck, me and you, I feel like me and you could talk for another fucking 3-4 hours, talk shop, and fucking just lose track of time too. So.
We definitely could, but I know it's a couple hours later where you are than it is here, and and it's getting pretty late here too.
Yeah, it's I'm a night hawk. I barely sleep, so I'm usually up till 3 in the morning, and I'm still kind of on like what I've been calling like California time, because I mixed doing the mixing with the record with Spritzer from Devil Driver. Him being in California, he's always 3 hours behind me, right? So sometimes when he would call or get a hold of me while he's working on something, it's maybe 9-10 o'clock his time, but it's like 1-2 in the morning my time, right? So sometimes I try to keep myself available. And
yeah,
so I'm still kind of on that tour California time I'm trying to break out of. But if I was gonna give a shout out, man, well, first of all, shout out to Juliet Rune. Like, hey man, like that's again, hats off to you guys. That's really commendable, man. That's really cool that they did that. It sucks that they didn't get to play, but you know, hey, everybody go give them a like or an ad, and just all the bands that Loud as Hell. Like, go if you're a Canadian band, check out that playlist, or just check out the show flyer and just start going through those names and looking them up and checking them out, because like there's some serious talent there that we got here in Canada. Like, so much talent that you know, I think gets overlooked by maybe all the big markets that are in the States and stuff like that. And you know, we got to kind of all help each other too, right? And kind of spread that word together, and you know, everyone support everybody, right? Just, it's the only way that everybody wins. You know, you can't hold nobody down. You know, so like, go check out Juliet Ruin, check out Exterminatus, check out Horrify, check out Siren. You know, like they were. What was another band? What is it? Carcosa.
Yeah.
I think. Am I saying it right? I think I remember listening to them on the playlist. Like those guys were fucking deadly too.
They're insane.
So I'm upset I didn't get to see a lot of them, but that just means I'm gonna have to head back out there and go fucking see them again. And
that's right.
Buy them all a beer, right?
Fucking rights, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. We're gonna have to do it again soon. I appreciate you sending me out that promo stuff too. My weekend was just all over the place, and the recovery time from the weekend with the family just was not cutting it for me. So I really appreciate that, and I appreciate you giving me some of your time. Oh my goodness. I appreciate you giving me some of your time so that we could hash it out and fucking chat about tunes, man, because this is what I love to do. This is my obsession, and I like to talk to like-minded people just like you about that stuff too, man. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on, man. Lots of fun, and keep doing what you're doing. You know, like this really does help a lot of us low-level bands, kind of give us a platform to kind of chat, talk about what we got going on and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think you're doing a really great thing too. And, you know, if there's anything ever down the road you need a hand with, man, you just fucking reach out, man, and I got you. And point you in the right direction or introduce you to somebody, whatever I can do to help, by all means, let me know what I could do. Because, I mean, you got a good thing going on. Like, it's a great platform for us to kind of talk about what we got coming up. Like, we'll have a new music video maybe in a month or two when she gets edited up. Other than that, it'll just be some visual stuff, some more videos and stuff, just to kind of keep promoting the album for the next bit. So go check us out on our socials, and you know, give the Trash Talk podcast a follow, and you know, check out our album. Drop us a line, let us know what you think, and you know, we'll do this again where we can we'll talk more. We'll talk Pantera. We could probably do another couple hours just on that.
Probably. Hell yeah, man. We definitely will. I like to do just shoot the shit podcasts. Not every podcast has to be like a bang up interview. Like, I'm trying to find people that want to just like talk topics and stuff too, because that's what a podcast is about, right? But
yeah.
What happens is I just end up filling up the schedule with interviews because I don't want to be left hanging, and people are shy. People are shy unless they're holding their instruments and playing with their band, and you know what? Or talking about their band, and you know, I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that. If that's what it's got to be, that's what it's got to be. Every once in a while, I get a gem like you, and we open up, crack it open, and we barely even talk about the music and stuff, about your music and stuff.
Yeah, man, you just talk like old buddies, and you just talk like friends, and you know, everyone's just sharing war stories, right? So
that's what it's all about.
Hey, be sure to send me send me a message too, and send me your mailing address too, man. I'm gonna send you out a little care package.
Oh, hell
I'll
yeah.
hook you up with some get you a shirt and a hat, and we'll get you fixed up, man.
Bro, I'll
That way,
definitely rock
just for
that
a thank
shit.
you, and kind of missing you out loud as hell, not getting to at least shake your hand or whatever. So
That's all right. We'll
do
make
it
it up. There's
together.
time, bro. We'll make it up. I appreciate that. I definitely will, man. Thank you again so much for doing this. Thank you, everybody, for watching the show. From Papa Trash, from old Tim Reaper in Ontario there. This has been another episode of Trash Talk. Thank you, Tim, so much. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And
Thanks for having me.
have a great night. Cheers.